Family, welcome back to the Royal Sussex Squad, your home where we stand firm with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, lift them up and push back against the lies, the smears and the constant negativity hurled their way. Today's story is one that warms the heart, touches the soul, and reminds us exactly why Meghan and Harry are such a beacon of hope, love and humanity in a world that often seems determined to misunderstand them. Let's talk about Meghan Markle's beautiful new photo, shared on her As Ever brand page. A photo that wasn't just about aesthetics or promotion, but about family, symbolism, and the kind of meaning that only people with depth and love in their hearts can see. Meghan was pictured with her beloved dogs, Pula and Mia, in the lush backyard of their Montecito home. The caption was simple yet evocative: crisp air, blue skies, and the sweetest moments. Now, what stood out in this photo was not just Meghan's natural grace or her joyful companionship with her rescue dogs, but the presence of two palm trees in the background. These aren't just any palm trees, they're special. They're joined at the base, growing together as one. And they became the inspiration for the crest of her As Ever brand. Let me pause here, because this is more than just branding. This is storytelling. This is symbolism. This is love in visual form. Back in 2022, Meghan revealed that when she and Harry first toured their Montecito home, Harry immediately noticed these palm trees. He looked at them and said, "My love, it's us." Do you hear the romance, the depth, the profound recognition in that statement? That is the language of a man deeply in love with his wife, seeing their bond reflected in the very nature around them. And it doesn't stop there. Their son, Archie, now 6 years old, has made it a tradition to greet those palm trees as though they're his parents. He walks past and says, "Hi, Mama. Hi, Papa." That right there is the beauty of family, innocent, pure, rooted in love. But of course we know how the press works. When Meghan shares something authentic, they rush to twist it. When she grounds her brand in family meaning, they try to call it frivolous. Let me be very clear. Those critics, those tabloid vultures, will never understand what it means to build something with love at the centre. They only deal in hate, distortion, and cheap headlines. Meghan's brand. As Ever is not just about products, it's about story, healing, resilience, and connection. That's what sets her apart. Now let's talk about another key element of the crest, the hummingbirds. These are deeply symbolic for Prince Harry. In his memoir, Spare, Harry recounted an extraordinary moment when, after the passing of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, a hummingbird entered his home. For those who know the cultural meanings attached to hummingbirds, you'll understand. They are seen as messengers, symbols of spirits, and in some traditions even reincarnated warriors, or resurrection birds. Harry described watching the hummingbird flying around his kitchen, above the playpen they lovingly call Lilyland, in honour of Princess Lilibet. Imagine the poetry of that moment, a sign of continuity, of presence, of hope, right in their family space. These are not coincidences. This is life speaking to us, and Meghan and Harry are attuned enough, spiritual enough, and connected enough to notice these things. And then Meghan goes and incorporates that symbol into her brand logo, showing the world that her creations are steeped in meaning, not manufactured gimmicks. But you won't hear the tabloids say that, will you? No. They'll roll their eyes, they'll try to diminish, they'll try to tell you that Meghan is overly dramatic or attention-seeking. But what are they really doing? They're projecting their own emptiness. Because when you have no meaning, no depth, no authenticity, you can't possibly recognize it in others. That's why Meghan confuses them. That's why Harry enrages them. They live authentically. They find beauty in nature, in symbols, in animals, in family. And the press can't stand it because it reminds the world of what truly matters. Let's talk about those dogs for a moment, because this part of the story deserves its spotlight. Meghan is pictured with Pula, her black lab, and Mia, her beagle. And Mia's story is nothing short of inspiring. This dog was rescued from a horrific life in a breeding and research lab in Virginia through the Beagle Freedom Project. Meghan herself reached out personally to adopt an older dog in need. She said clearly, "We don't want a Christmas puppy. We want one we can help who is older." That's compassion in action. That's leadership through example. While so many celebrities choose dogs as accessories, Meghan and Harry choose them as family. They adopt, they rescue, they rehabilitate. Mia, full name Mama Mia, became part of their family in 2022, joining Pula and Meghan's older beagle, Guy. And while Guy sadly passed away in January 2025, he lived a life of love and comfort thanks to Meghan, rescued, cared for, cherished. This is what people need to remember. Meghan and Harry don't just talk about kindness, they live it. They don't just preach compassion, they act on it. They didn't need to adopt an older dog. They didn't need to pour their hearts into symbols like palm trees and hummingbirds. But they do, because that's who they are at their core. People of love, people of empathy, people of depth. And let's be real here. That's why the negativity against them is so relentless, because Meghan and Harry represent a mirror to the establishment, showing them what real compassion and service looks like. The royal rota doesn't hate Meghan because of her race or her nationality alone. They hate her because she outshines the whole institution without even trying. She and Harry are building a brand, a family, a life that's rooted in authentic meaning, not in pomp, ceremony, or empty tradition. So when Meghan shares a photo with her dogs in her backyard, surrounded by love, with her brand logo rooted in personal symbolism, the world sees authenticity. And the haters, they scramble. They try to drag her, but every attack falls flat, because you can't tarnish something that's built on truth. Family, I want you to let that sink in. Meghan isn't just showing us a lifestyle brand, she's teaching us about resilience, about finding beauty in the everyday, about how love can transform even the smallest details, like palm trees, hummingbirds, or a rescued beagle, into lifelong symbols of connection. And this is exactly why we in the Sussex squad will always stand behind Meghan and Harry. Because their story is not just theirs, it's a story about choosing love in a world that thrives on hate. It's about choosing authenticity in a world built on facades, and it's about building something meaningful when others are trying to tear you down. So let's celebrate this moment, let's uplift Meghan's vision, and let's remind the world, love always wins. Meghan Markle poses with her dogs in backyard snap, featuring the inspiration for her brand logo. The Duchess of Sussex used inspiration from her beautiful backyard, while creating her As Ever brand. Meghan Markle shared a new pic with her dogs on the As Ever brand page. In the shot of Meghan's picturesque background are two palm trees that connect at their bases, which were an inspiration for the crest of the As Ever brand. The logo also includes two hummingbirds, which are a meaningful symbol for her husband. Prince Harry. Meghan Markle had some beautiful backyard inspiration when it came to creating her As Ever brand. On Wednesday, September 24, the As Ever Instagram page shared a shot of Meghan and her dogs, Black Lab Pula and Beagle Mia, looking out over their backyard in Montecito, California. Crisp air, blue skies, and the sweetest moments, As Ever, captioned the shot. The photo featured two palm trees that connect at their base, which is a meaningful symbol for Meghan. In a 2022 interview with The Cut, Meghan shared how the trees caught the eye of her husband, Prince Harry, when they first toured the house. "One of the first things my husband saw when we walked around the house was those two palm trees," she said. "See how they're connected at the bottom? He goes, 'My love, it's us.' And now every day when Archie goes by us, he says, 'Hi, Mama, hi, Papa.'" Meghan added of their son, Prince Archie, now 6. Meghan made a palm tree, the centerpiece of the As Ever crest, while designing the brand's logo. The tree is flanked by two hummingbirds, which is also a meaningful symbol for Harry. In his 2023 memoir, Spare, the Duke of Sussex, 41, shared an anecdote about finding a hummingbird in his house after the death of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth. He reflected on how the bird is interpreted as a symbol of spirits in some cultures. "I had a devil of a time guiding it out, and the thought occurred that maybe we should start shutting the doors, despite those heavenly ocean breezes," he wrote. Then a mate said, "Could be a sign, you know? Visitors, as it were." Aztecs thought them reincarnated warriors. Spanish explorers called them resurrection birds. Harry wrote that he looked more closely at the hummingbird as it flew around the kitchen and over the playpen we call Lilyland, set up for his daughter, Princess Lilibet, now 4. I thought hopefully, greedily, foolishly, is our house a detour or a destination, he said of the sighting. This new photo isn't Mia's first time modelling with Meghan for as ever. In March, the pup crashed a backyard photo shoot for the brand's first launch, with Meghan sharing a behind-the-scenes pic of the rescue beagle as she showcased the picturesque products. The dog, whose full name is Mamma Mia, was adopted by Meghan and Prince Harry in 2022. She was rescued from a breeding and research lab in Virginia by the Beagle Freedom Project, to whom Meghan reached out personally about adopting an older dog. The Duchess is holding Mia and was like, "We're adopting her," Shannon Keith, a volunteer with the organisation, told the LA Times. She was like, "No, we don't want a Christmas puppy. We want ones we can help who are older." Mia became the couple's third dog at the time, alongside Pula and Meghan's previous rescue beagle, Guy, who died in January 2025. And before we wrap up, I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting this channel, for keeping the Sussex Squad alive and loud. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, share this with your friends, and most importantly, show your love by clicking that super thanks button to support the work we're doing here. Every bit helps us continue shining a light on Harry and Meghan's truth. Until next time, family, keep your heads held high, your spirits full of love, and always remember, we are stronger together. Sussex Squad forever.